Here today, I'm gonna show you how to change your oil on your sport bike. First thing, we're gonna need the oil required for your sport bike and the oil filter. Really good oil for a sport bike is the Royal Purple Max Cycle and the K&N oil filter. And for this particular bike, it requires 1040 weight, but you could also use different weights depending where you live. Okay, so we're in the front. I'm gonna take off this plastic piece off. So for the bottom clip, just gonna pry it out. It's gonna come out like that. There's two of the big ones, and there's a smaller one, and I'm gonna show you how to take this one off. First of all, I'm gonna take it off, and then once I got it off, I'm gonna show you how to take it off because I can't really get the camera down here. As you can see, I just took it off. This is what it looks like in the fairing, like that. And you're gonna get something small. You're gonna push the middle inside. It's gonna make a pop noise, and then you can remove it just like that. Okay, so I found another clip located in front of the bike. It's in there. Well, you can kind of see it, but it's here, right here. You have to go underneath it and take that clip off because it's holding the fairing. You're gonna need your flathead. It's one of the big clips. Okay, and now we go in the front. We have a clip holding. Right there, I had to take that clip off. And once I take that clip off, the fairing should come off. Sometimes you have to rotate the wheel to get into position because it's kind of hard with the minimal room you have. Okay, on this bike, there are two clips right here and about right there holding the bottom fairing. And it's one of the big clips, so you're gonna need a flathead to pry it out. Here's one of them. So you can see I took it out, and this is one of the clips. And there also is another one I'm trying to get to. This is the other one, and it's gonna loosen up the bottom. And you wanna make sure that you put them in order because some screws are longer than others, and we do not want to mix up the screws and put them in the wrong place. And these are what the screws look like. Some are smaller and some are bigger. Right here where my finger is, there's a rubber grommet and it's holding the fairing a little bit. So get your hand, you're gonna have to pry it a little bit. Maybe put your knee in front of it so it doesn't pull forward or you don't want to crack anything. So just make sure you're looking at the fairing, if it's clearing everything. So that's how you get off one of the fairings. Just like that for the other fairing. And now inspect for any leaks, oil leaks or anything. As you can see, mine's pretty clean. Mine has 5,800 miles. Check your coolant level. It's a good time to change your coolant. You can flush it out. I'm running engine ice. It's one of the best coolant you have. And to run that, you have to flush the whole engine with distilled water. You cannot mix it with regular engine coolant. And now I'm gonna take off the oil filter. But before you take out the oil filter, make sure your bike was running for about just a few minutes to warm up the engine so the oil could all come out. Okay, now we're gonna drain the oil on this gsxr, and it requires a 17mm socket. And we're gonna unscrew it from the oil pan. You could check on the bolt that you unscrewed. It's magnetized right here. And anything that, any pieces of, make sure there's no pieces of metal in here. If there's pieces of metal, that's not good, but there should be small amounts of pieces of metal, that's normal. Okay, so your oil filter is located right here. And if you bought the K&N, you do not need an oil filter wrench to take it out. You could use a normal wrench. It'll, there's a little nut thing that you could apply your wrench on, and it'll just twist off like that. So here we have our new K&N oil filter, and as you can see, this is the O-ring that seals off any oil to be coming out or leaking anywhere. But you want to get a dab of your old oil or your new oil, doesn't matter. Just put on the O-ring. You want to lubricate that. And now we're gonna screw it back on. Okay, now we're not going to use a wrench. You're going to hand tighten it. You want to snug tight, do not use the wrench. So we're going to reinstall the oil pan bolt to drain the oil. Move the oil to the side. You want to tighten this tight, but do not over tighten it. There is a specific torque that you could tighten it if you have a torque wrench, and you could look that up in the Suzuki manual. So I just tightened that. Now we're going to start pouring the oil into the engine. You need to get yourself a funnel, a clean funnel. And this bike, I believe it takes 3.8 quarts to be exact. 3.7, 3.8. And you start pouring the oil. Right here is your oil level window. As you can see, F means full, L means low. You want to get up to the top, there's a little slip mark. So you check this oil with the bike in riding position, not leaned over. So after about 3.5 quarts, I'm gonna start looking at it. Okay, so right now, when I look at the level, it says about full, but you have to consider that the oil filter, it's a new oil filter, and I haven't ran the bike yet. So before you finalize the oil level, let the bike run for about a minute. Turn it off and then refill it, because it's gonna go through the oil level is gonna go down, and then we have to refill it. So I'm doing that right now. All right, so after running it for about a minute, the oil went down a lot actually. I'm surprised by how much it went down, so make sure you do that. Now you just have to reinstall the fairings. And here's the bike complete. All the screws are in. It's cleaned up, really nice. I'm going to show you on this side. So when you start it up, check the oil level right here. Put in riding position and make sure that it's at the full position. And if it's at the full position, you're ready to go. That's how you change your oil on a sports bike.